Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are fine. In today's tutorial, we are going to start our new project, that is blog application, in which user will be able to post blogs and other users will be able to see that blog. We will create this application by using Flutter and Firebase. So first of all, let me create basic project here. First of all, let me import material package and create main function and run app my app, and here we will create stateless widget my app like this. Return a material app. You all know how to create basic project of Flutter. Here let me give title blog app, theme theme data, color scheme dot from seed, color for example red color. You can give any color. Here we will use material 3 true like this. So when application will start, first of all we will show our splash screen. Here inside lib, let me create screens, and here let me create folder splash. Inside splash, let me create splash screen, import material stateful widget splash screen, and here let me use scaffold like this. Now when application will start, first of all our splash screen will appear, and here we will show logo of the application. So right now we don't have any logo. Let me download a sample logo. Here open a website freepik.com and search here blog logo. You can see it is showing multiple logos. You can download anyone. Let me download this one. You can download anyone. Click download. Here you can select its type. Let me select JPG. Its type JPG. Image has been downloaded into download directory. Let me open it. Go to download directory. Here you can see this is our image. Let me rename it to logo.jpg. Just copy it, open Android Studio, and here we will create folder for assets. I hope you all know how to create assets. Just create folder inside main directory of our project. Create folder assets, and inside assets let me create folder images, and here inside let me paste my image logo.jpg. Now open pubspec.yml file and scroll down here. Let me enable assets, uncomment this line, and now here we can give path of our assets images like this. Click pubget. Now we can access images inside our application anywhere. Now we are on the splash screen. Here let me use body. Inside body center I want to use image inside center asset image, and here we can give path of the image assets images.logo.jpg like this, and you can give height and width, for example height 100. Now let me test the application. You can see it is showing black screen because here we don't mention our home screen. Inside material app home we need to give home screen, here splash, because we want to show splash screen. When application will start we want to show our splash screen. So it will show splash screen. You can see it is showing our logo. Let me increase size of our logo 200 for example. Now it is looking good. Now let me remove debug banner from top right corner like this. Banner has been removed. Now after splash screen we have two options. When application will start, first of all our splash screen will be opened. After that we will open login sign up screen, because this is blog application, and in this application user will be able to create account and login to their account. So for this purpose inside screens I will create auth folder. Auth means authentication, and inside auth folder I will create my login and registration screens. Here first of all let me create screen login screen. Here let me import material stateful widget login screen, return scaffold like this. Now here inside splash screen, first of all let me create init function. When we open splash screen, then first of all init function will called. Now here we will write our logic. We want to show our splash screen in 3 seconds. After 3 seconds it will move to login screen. I hope you understand. Here I will write my logic. The logic is future dot delayed. Here we need to pass duration. We will pass duration of 3 seconds. After that, then what is next? After 3 seconds, what we need to do? Here we will write our logic to move into a new screen. Push material page route, and here we will write our login screen. When application will start, first of all it will show splash screen. After 3 seconds it will open a new screen. It will open login screen. Here instead of push I will choose push replace, because I want to replace splash screen. Push replacement like this. Now let me restart the application. You will see when application will start. No, it will show 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, now our login screen has been opened. Here inside login screen, we can create login UI. Here let me use column. Inside column, first of all, here let me show the text login, and let me increase the size theme text theme dot title large. It is showing here. Here instead of column let me use list view, and here we will use padding, all sides padding 15 like this. It is showing here on top. So here let me add a sized box, height 100. Now you can see it is here. After that let me increase its size. Instead of title let me use display small. Now it is good. After that let me use another text. Please enter email and password to get started. This is just sample text. Let me show you. You can see it is showing please enter email and password to get started. Now let me use some space, sized box, height 15 for example. Now here I will create text fields, text form fields. Here inside this decoration, input decoration, hint will be email. This is first text box. Here its hint is email. Let me increase this space to 30. Now it is enough. And second text field will be password. Text form field, decoration, input decoration, and here hint will be password, like this. Let me add some space between fields. Sized box, for example 15, space of 15. Now it is looking good. After that, let me add another space here, space of 30 for example, and here I will create elevated button. Elevated button on pressed, when user will press the login button, we will do our login process. Text login. This is our login button. So it is not looking good. Let me change the setting, theme setting of my elevated button. So when anywhere we will use our elevated button, its updated setting will be used. Open main, and inside theme we can access elevated button theme. Elevated button theme, and inside this we can use style elevated button dot style form. Here we can give styling. Let me give it color, foreground color and background color. Background color, for example, I want to use red, and foreground color I want to use white. Now you can see it is looking good. Let me add some padding. Padding will be, for example, 15. Now it is good. Now anywhere when we will use elevated button, the same look will appear. Now let me create controllers to get text from text fields. Here final email, text editing controller, final password, text editing controller. And now I will create form key to validate data, final form key, global key, and here let me mention its type form state. So we will use this form key to validate form. When user will press button, here we will write our logic to validate form. If our text fields are empty, we will check if our form fields are empty or not. For this purpose, here we need to wrap our list view with form, and we need to give key, form key, like this. And when user will press the button, first of all we will validate key, form key dot current state dot validate. After validation we will move forward. So in order to validate form, here we will use validator inside our text form field, validator that will give text inside our text fields. We will check if our text is empty or not. If our text of fields is empty, then we will return. Here we will return error message. Please enter email, like this. Otherwise we will return null, like this. Here it is showing error. Let me use here null check, like this. Now let me press login button. You can see it is showing error, please enter email. So that is why we are using form and form key and validator. The same like email, we will use validator inside our password. Here we will return message, please enter password. like this. Now when I will press login, you can see it is showing error. Please enter email, please enter password. So our validation is working. Let me remove these warnings. Add constant, add constant, add constant keyword like this. So this is our login screen. Now we will create our registration screen, register screen. For this purpose, we will create another button here to open our register screen. For this purpose, let me wrap my form with column. Inside column, I will wrap my form with expanded because I want to show another button here. I will use outlined button. On pressed, and here I will use don't have an account, register now. This is title of the button. You can see it is showing. Let me add some space at bottom. Constant sized box, its height 15. Now it is looking good. Now let me create register screen here inside authentication folder. Register screen, and here let me import material stateful widget register screen, and here let me return a scaffold. Let me copy and paste same code of our login screen. Start from here and here. Just copy and paste it here like this. And here we need to change some text. Already have an account, login now. And here instead of login, let me use register. Please enter email and please enter name, email and password to get started. Here we will use three fields. First for name, other for email, and last one for password. Please enter name like this. And button will be a register button like this. Now here inside login screen and this button very bottom, don't have an account, register now. Here we will write code to navigate into register screen. Push material page route constant register screen like this. Now if I click this button, you can see register screen has been opened. Now let me use some settings here. Let me add space after name here. Now it is looking good. Here let me create other controller for name, text editing controller. Sorry, I forgot to assign controllers to our fields. Here controller for name will be name, controller for email will be email, and controller for password will be password. And let me do same thing for login screen. Here I just forgot controller for email and controller for password like this. Now here On register screen, let me click register button. You can see a validation is working properly. Now here you can see at the bottom there is a button already have an account. Login now. If I click here again, it open login screen. Here inside this, let me write a code to navigate into my login screen. Login screen like this. Now our login and register screens are ready. Now I will create home screen. Here after login or registration, user will navigate to a home screen. Here let me create home folder. Inside this home screen, import material, stateful widget, home screen, return scaffold. Now before moving forward, let me connect our project with Firebase. Open Firebase console and add project, new project, and here you can give name of the project. For example, in our case, blog app. Continue, select account here, default account, create project, continue, press continue. Now our Firebase project has been created. We just need to connect this with our Flutter application. For this purpose, I will use command line. Open Android Studio. Here in terminal, write command Flutter Fire configure. So it will show all my Firebase projects here. You can see it is showing all the projects. For using Flutter Fire, open Google and type here Flutter Fire and open first link Flutter Fire. Here is complete documentation. Click get started. You can see it is providing all the documentation how to use Flutter Fire, how to connect your Firebase console with Android Studio to get project list and communicate with Firebase. You can read all the documentation here. So here we type this command Flutter Fire configure. You can see all the projects are here. Here we will select project that we already created. Our project name is blog app. You can see here this is our project. Press enter and we want to connect our project for Android and iOS. Android and iOS already selected. Press enter. Now it is connecting our Flutter project with Firebase. Now our project has been connected with our Firebase. Now let me open documentation. You can see here we just need to copy and paste 3 lines before our run app function in main function. In our main file, open main file and before run app, here paste these lines and it will show error. Here let me make it async function. For this purpose we need to import a package Firebase core. If you open documentation here you can see it is saying to add Firebase core. We will add Firebase core. Here type command flutter pub add Firebase core. So this package is mandatory when we use Firebase. Now just hover it. When you will hover it, it will give hint to import, or you can manually import Firebase core. Import Firebase core. You can see it is showing Firebase core. And second step, you can see Firebase options. When our project will connected with Firebase, it automatically generates this file, Firebase options. Here you need to import Firebase options like this. Now you can see error removed. Now our project has been connected with Firebase successfully. Open Firebase project and refresh it. Now you can see it is showing two apps. It means two apps are connected, one for Android and other for iOS. Now first of all, we will add authentication feature into our application. Open builds here, build authentication. You can see authentication. Authentication means login and sign up, login and registration. Click get started and you can see it is showing all the authentication methods. In our application we will use email and password. Here click email and password, enable it and save. Now we can use email and password authentication feature into our application. For this purpose we will use a package Firebase Auth. Just type Firebase Auth Flutter. There is a package Firebase Auth. Here you can see Firebase Auth. Just copy it. Open terminal. Flutter pub add and Firebase Auth. Now Firebase Auth package has been added. Now we will use it in our application in login and registration screen. First of all, after form key, here let me create variable auth Firebase auth dot instance like this, and open elevated button. When user will press button, here we will start our authentication process. Let me create a separate folder for this purpose. Here name it as start login async function like this. Here use auth dot sign in with email and password. Sign in with email and password. Here we need to pass email and password. We can get email and password from here. You can see email and password, email dot text and password dot text. Here we can pass email dot text and password dot text like this. Here let me use await keyword because this is async function, sign in with email and password. Now I want to manage errors. For example, user try to log in but there is an error. How we can handle that error? For this purpose I will use try catch block. I will write my code into try block and here catch block on which type of exception can occur here. Here Firebase auth exception and catch. Here I will catch error like this. Here for example there is any error. Here we can print that error e dot message. It will print error message. And for example there is no error, user successfully logged in. Then we can navigate to next screen, navigator dot push replacement, push and remove until. Here we will use push and remove until. It means it will close all the screens and only open the next screen that we want to open. Here new route, material page router. We want to navigate into home screen. After successful login, we want to move into home screen. It will close all other screens and just open home screen. Now let me test this code. For this purpose, here we need to call our function start login function. Start login. So first of all, we need to restart our application because we just connect our project with Firebase. So we need to restart it. Close it and again restart it. So our application restarted. Now let me test it. Just type email and password here. Let me use sample email abc@gmail.com and any password. Now if I click login and just open logcat, here you can see it is showing error. The supplied auth credential is incorrect, malformed or has expired. So it is saying that provided credentials are incorrect because the user with this email and password does not exist in our authentication. Let me add loading. When user click login button, it should show loading. For this purpose, here I will create a boolean variable loading. Its default value will be false, and when user will click button uh, elevated button, then it will show loading. Let me uh, change the value of loading to true, and after login, here I will use set state loading false, and same code here in error part like this. Now let me use this loading here. Here let me write a logic loading. For example, loading is true, then we will show here a center, a child, constant, circular progress indicator. Otherwise we will show elevated button. When loading is true, then it will show loading instead of button. Let me try this. Here click login button. You can see it is showing loading. Then you can see it is showing error because email and password are incorrect. User does not exist. Let me create a snack bar to show error. So instead of printing error here, I will use snack bar. Here let me use snack bar. In print, I will use snack bar. Scaffold messenger dot off context dot show snack bar and content. Here its content will be text e dot message like this. It is showing error because message can be null. In case of null, we will use empty. It will be empty like this. Now if I run it again, click login button. Now this time you can see it is showing snack bar here. That is good. Now there is another thing. Let me hide the password here. You can see it is showing password as visible. I want to hide this. It will show star in instead of characters. Let me open it. You can see this is text form field of password. Here there is a property obscure text. Make it true. Now you can see it is showing star instead of our password. That is good. Now let me make registration part functional. Open registration screen. and here the register screen. Same like login screen. Here first of all I will create variable auth firebase auth dot instance. Here same like login, I will create register button, start register, async function, try catch block, try and on firebase auth exception catch e error. And here let me write a code, await auth dot create user with email and password. Now here, because this is a register screen, here we will register our user. That is why we will call this function create user with email and password. Here we need to pass email and password, email and password like this. So it will give us a result. Let me store a result in our result variable like this. You can see here we are getting three informations: name, email and password. The authentication will handle our email and password. Here you can see it is getting our email and password, but we need to update the name manually. Here after this line, when user successfully register, here we will update its name. Result dot user, you can see user dot update display name. There is a function update display name. Here we can pass our name. Let me pass name dot text like this. This is async function. Here we will use await like this. After that we will navigate into our home screen. Push and remove until. So it will close all previous screens and only open our home screen. Like this. Same like login, let me create loading variable bool loading, its default value false. And here when user will press the button, first of all let me loading true, then it will call start register but function. And here for example there is any error, then loading will become false and it will show error snackbar messenger scaffold messenger of context dot show snackbar and here content will be text e dot message. In case of null it will print empty like this. And same like this, here we will also make our loading as false. Now let me show here loading logic. For example, loading is true, then we will use center child circular progress indicator like this. Now let me start registration. Here for example my name is Auth and email will be auth@gmail.com and password will be for example a 6 times a like this. And let me make its obscure text true because this is password. Now let me click my registration button. It is showing loading. You can see it's opened our home screen because there is no error. We successfully register our first user. Let me verify it. Open Firebase your Firebase project, open Authentication. Here you can see inside Authentication our first user exists. You can see here date 28 April, and you can see this is user ID and identifier, email, everything. So our first user has been registered successfully. So our next step here in home screen, let me use here a text in center to verify if it is home screen or not. Home screen. You can see it is home screen. It is showing home screen. Now let me show some other interesting thing. Let me restart the application. And this is our splash screen. After that you can see again it opened login screen. After the process of registration or login, our user considered as logged in user. Then it should start our home screen after splash screen. How we can check it? If our user is logged in or not. Here you can see in home screen inside our init function. Here we can check. First of all, let me create a variable auth. With the help of auth, we can get logged in user information. Login Firebase auth instance, and here we can check if auth.current user. You can see we can get information about logged in user is equal to null. User is equal to null. It means there is no logged in user. Then we will write this code, same code, to navigate to our login screen. In else part, it means our user is logged in. When our user is logged in, then we will navigate to our home screen. Material page router, home screen, like this. Now again let me restart our application. This time you can see our home screen opened. It means our user is logged in. So this is the way we can get information about logged in user. If auth.current user is equal to null, it means there is no logged in user. Then we navigate to our login screen. Otherwise it will navigate to home screen. Now we will design our home screen. Here on home screen, first of all let me add app bar. App bar title will be home, and here we will create a floating action button to create blog. Now we are logged in user and we can create blog. Floating action button on pressed child will be icon will be plus icon. You can see it is showing plus button. When user will press plus button, it will open new screen where user will be able to add blog. Let me create that screen here. Inside screen, let me create a folder, add blog. Inside this folder I will create add blog screen. Import material, and here stateful widget, add blog screen. Here let me return scaffold. App bar title will be add blog. Now here on pressing floating action button, I will open blog screen, add blog screen, navigator dot push material page router, and it will open add block screen like this. Now let me press floating action button. You can see add block screen has been opened. Now inside this screen, let me add body. Inside body, I will use list view. Padding will be 15. Here we will use our two text fields, one for title and other for description, and a button to save this block. Let me add text form field. Decoration will be input decoration and hint will be title. Same like this, I will create for description like this. You can see it is showing title and description. Let me use here a border, uh, outlined input border for text. You can see it is showing border. Same for description like this. Here let me increase number of lines for description. Next lines, for example 5, increase to 8, for example 10. 10 is enough. Here let me add space, sized box 15. Now it is looking good. Now user can add title and description. Let me create variables, text editing controller for title and description. Title and description, text editing controllers, and a form key, global key. Its type will be form state like this. And let me wrap a list view with form because we want to enable form key validation, form key, and also add validator, uh, same like our login and sign up page. If value dot is empty, here we will return please enter title, otherwise return null. Null means there is no error. Let me copy and paste same code into description like this. After that, we will create button here on top on our app bar actions. Icon button on pressed. Here icon button icon will be done icon. And when user will press this button, then this blog will saved. And here let me create a loading. When user will click save button, then loading will appear. When our blog will saved, then loading will disappear. Now at the bottom, let me create a function add blog. Add blog, this will be async function. When user will press this button, then add blog will called and this blog will be added into our Firebase. We will add this data into Firestore. Let me open Firebase, click build. You can see there is a Firestore database. Firestore. Here inside Firestore, let me create my database. Click create database button and click next. Here because we are in testing mode, select start in test mode, click create. Now our database has been created. In order to use our Firestore database, there is a package Cloud Firestore Flutter. Cloud Firestore Flutter, type it. Here you can see there is a package Cloud Firestore. Just copy it, open Android Studio terminal. Here add this package Flutter pub add Cloud Firestore. Press enter. Now our Cloud Firestore package has been added. Now we can use it inside our project. But before this, first of all, let me create a model class for our blog. Here create a folder models. Inside this, here create a dot file, name it as blog. For example, blog. Create class blog. So each blog has a unique key that is called key ID. You can say it ID. And after that it will have a user ID because each blog belongs to any user. And the third one is title and description. After that, for example, we want to store date and time. Date time here, date time, or you can say it created at, like this. Let me make a constructor blog required this dot id required this dot user id required this dot title required this dot description and required this dot created at. This is our constructor. Now let me open add blog screen. Here inside add blog, let me create instance of our Cloud Firestore. Name it as db database Firebase Firestore dot instance dot collections. So we can create collections inside our database. This collection names will be blogs. Here inside these collections we will store all our blogs. Let me show you. Here you can see this is our Cloud Firestore. Inside this we can create collections. If you click here, you can see we can create collections. For example, blogs. If I create blogs and click next, and here inside these collections we can add multiple documents or data. For example, our document ID is 222 and field. For example, we want to store title as first block, and other field description will be, for example, this is the description, and save. Here you can see our data has been added. So this is our collection. Its name is blogs. Inside this there is a document. Its ID is 222. This is ID. And this document has data. You can see description and title. So in this way we will create collections and documents. Now let me remove it. Delete collections, blogs, delete. We will create everything from app. So here I mentioned my collection name as blogs. Inside this blogs we will add our data. So first of all, let me create object of my blog class. This is blog. We already created our model class blog. Name it as blog and blog. Here we need to pass all the data. We need to pass ID, user ID, title, description and created at. All these informations. Let me rearrange this, format this like this, so it will be easy to pass data. First of all, we need to pass ID. So each blog should have a unique ID. Here we will create our unique ID manually. Let me create id final id. We will create it by using datetime dot now dot millisecond since epoch dot to string. id should be string. Now you can see id error removed. We passed id successfully. After that we need to pass user id. So we need to pass logged in user id. How we can get logged in user information? We can get information here. User, for example, user Firebase auth Firebase auth dot instance dot current user. You can see current user, and here we can get user id. User dot uid. You can see uid. Like this we can get user id. The third one is title. We already has text editing controllers, title and descriptions. We can pass here title title.text and description.text, like this, and created at. Here we need to pass current date and time. Date time dot now, like this. Now our blog object has been created successfully. Now we can pass this blog into our database. Here this is the reference of our database, db await db dot documents. Here we need to add documents, and each document should have unique id. We already create unique id here, id. We can pass id. After that we can call dot set, like this. You can see this set function accepts only map data, right? But you can see we have data in blog object. This is blog object. We need to convert this into our map. For this purpose, inside our blog we can create a function to map inside our blog, and it will return a map like this. id, first of all, id will be id, and user id will be user id, and title will be title, and description will be description, and they created at will be created at. But we need to convert this date into string. We will not send our datetime object. We will convert it into string, like this. Now this is function to convert our blog into map. Here we can mention its return type, because this is a function string dynamic. This is function return type map. So now here in set data we can use blog dot to map. You can see now our object has been converted into map, like this. Again we will write this code into our try catch block to catch errors on Firebase exceptions. Catch errors, like this. We will write our code in try block, like this. After that we need to stop loading false, like this, and same thing inside our error if there is any error. Again let me print error. For example, there is any error, scaffold messenger dot off context dot show snack bar will be content text e dot message. In case of null it will print empty string, like this. Now when user will press done button, you can see this is done button. First of all we will validate form. If form key dot current state dot validate, then first of all let me start loading will be true. Then we will call add blog function, like this. Now let me check if there is any problem. Sorry, we just forget to mention our controller title and controller for description like this. Now you can see our title and descriptions are empty. If I press my done button, you can see it is showing error because we add validations. It means our validation is working. Please enter title. Please enter title. Here it should show please enter description. Let me change it to description. Now again let me press. You can see it is showing please enter description. Now let me add sample title and here is the description like this. Now let me press a done button. Before pressing done button, we forget to use loading here. For example, there is a loading, then we will show circular progress indicator in body. Otherwise, we will show our other UI. Now let me press done button. It is showing error unable to establish connection on channel. Because we added our cloud Firestore package but did not restart our application, we need to restart our application. Just close it and start it again. Here you can see when I try to restart my application, it is showing this exception, this error. It says try to add multi-dex support into your Android project. How to add multi-dex support? Let me show you. Type multi-dex Android. Open first link. Here is the documentation to add multi-dex support. Select Kotlin and scroll down. Here you can see just copy multi-dex enabled true and paste it into your build Gradle. Open Android. Here Android app build Gradle Android side Android and default config, and after that here just paste it multi-dex enabled true. Again try to run. Now you can see our application started without any error. Let me click add button and here I will try to add new blog. Let me give the title sample blog and description. This is my first blog. Now let me click done button. You can see it is showing loading. No, you can see there is no error. It means our blog has been added successfully. Let me verify it. Open Cloud Firestore and refresh it. Here you can see our blog has been added. Here you can see the collection name is blogs. Inside this blog our first blog has been added. Here is the details: ID, title, description, user ID, created at. So this is the way we can add blogs into database. Now let me add another blog. Second blog. This is my second blog. Now I want to close this screen when blog successfully added. Open add blog screen and here after set state we can write code navigator dot pop. so it will close the screen. Now let me try. Click save button. You can see our blog has been added and add blog screen closed. Let me check it. Here you can see our second blog has been added. Now total there are two blogs here, first one and second one with unique ID. So this is the way we can add blogs into our database. So let us add some other features in application. First of all, here we will create a menu button. Go to home screen, inside app bar actions. Here we will add a pop-up menu button. Pop-up menu button inside this item builder context, and here inside list we will add pop-up menu items. Here for example, let me add logout. When user want to log out, this is button for logout. On tap like this. Now you can see it is showing log out. From here user can log out. Now let me write code for logout. There is a simple code. First of all, let me make this function as async function. Inside this I will write my code. Final auth. First of all we need auth, Firebase auth dot instance, and here we will write code auth dot sign out. There is a function auth dot sign out. So it will sign out our current user, and after sign out we will open login screen. Navigator dot push and remove until. We will close all the screens and open our login screen. Material page router, and here constant login screen, and here semicolon like this. Now let me click this button and log out. You can see login screen has been opened. It means we successfully logged out. Let me restart the application. Now after splash screen it will open login screen because now there is no logged in user. You can see we are on login screen. Now let me create another user, another account. Register now. Here I will create another account, Ali, name it as Ali at the rate of gmail.com, and password again same password. Just for example, click register. Now our second user has been registered. Now we can add blog by using second user. Here nature, for example, title is nature. This is the blog about nature. Just for example, click save. Our blog saved successfully. Let me check it. You can see now here total 3 blogs. You can see this is last one, nature, and this is blog about nature. So in this way multiple users can create multiple blogs. Now we will show blogs on our home screen. Our important step, open home screen. Here we will show our blogs, list of blogs. Here inside body, instead of center, we will use our stream builder. And here there are two parameters. First one is stream. Here we will pass our collections reference, Firebase Firestore dot instance dot collections. Our collection name is blocks, and here we will get our snapshot. Second parameter is builder, and it will give us context and snapshot of our database. Now on the basis of this snapshot, we will make different conditions to show data. First of all, here let me return sized box, empty sized box to remove error. Now let me refresh it. You can see there is no error. Now here I will use conditions. If snapshot dot connection state is connection state dot loading or waiting. You can see waiting means loading. Now we will return here our loading screen, a center circular progress indicator, like this. User will start application. First of all, it will show loading to load data from our database. Now second condition, if snapshot dot has data, it means this has a data, and snapshot dot data not is equal to null. Has data and data is not is equal to null, then we will show data here. First of all, we will get the data from database. Final data snapshot dot data dot docs. Our data is in docs form, in form of docs. Docs means documents. Here you can see here all the documents inside blocks. So we have all the documents inside our data. Here data variable. You can see its type is list of query, document snapshot, map, string, dynamic, like this. Now we will convert this data into our dot object, into our dot list of block. We will convert this data into list of block. For this purpose, how we can convert this data? First of all, let me create list of block. This is block. Name it as blocks, and this is empty list. Now let me use data dot for each. We will use here for each loop. It will give element. It is giving hint to use for loop instead of for each. So don't worry, convert for each. Now we will get all the documents one by one here. Then we will convert these documents into our dot object. For this purpose, open blog here. As you know, while uploading the data, we convert our dot object into map. Now again, we will convert this map into our dot object. For this purpose, we will create factory constructor of our blog dot from map. We will pass data into this constructor as map, and then here inside this we will convert this map into our dot object. Here we need to return blog, and here we will pass id will be map id, and title will be map title, and description will be map description, desc. Created at, for created at, because created at, you can see here created at, this is date time, but our data in database is string. We will parse this into date time dot parse. Here we will pass our date time created at, like this. So this is the way we can convert our data into our dot object. Another user ID is missing here. User ID map user ID, like this. Now our model class is ready. Open home screen. Here we can convert this. Let me create blog here, blog, and We will create blog from blog dot from map. You can see it is showing map. Here we will pass element, each element dot data. You can see it is giving us map of string dynamic. We will pass this data into our from map, blog dot from map. It will return us dot object, our blog object. Here is blog object. Now we will add this into our blogs dot add blog, like this. Now we have all the blogs here in this list. Now simply we can show data in our list view here. Return list view. Inside list view, here we can show our data. So here let me use for loop to show the data. Var blog in blogs. Here let me use list tile just for example. Here title will be blog dot title, and description will be here subtitle blog dot description, like this. Now refresh it. You can see it is showing data. It is showing 3 blogs in list. Now we can modify it in a more beautiful way. For this purpose we can create another separate file here. In home, let me create a folder, widgets. Inside this, let me create item blog, like this. Material STL stateless widget item blog, and here inside this we will pass blog, each blog in constructor required this dot blog, like this. And here we will show all the information in container. And let me create stack inside this, and in stack let me create column, and here title will be blog dot title, and let me use it here in home screen. Now instead of list tile we will use here item blog, and we will pass blog here. Now let me refresh it. Now you can see it is showing only title because we only added title. Let me give styling to the title, theme dot of context dot text theme dot title large. Now it is showing title as large. Here we will use some space. Sized box height will be 15 for example, and here we will use our blog dot description. Now you can see it is showing description, but space is let me give 10 is enough. And here let me give styling to our container. For this purpose let me give border for example color gray color border, and here we will use margin for example 5 is not enough, 15 let me give margin to here list view padding. Here let me use list view padding 15, and here we can remove margin. Now it is great. Now we will use margin only on bottom, only bottom 15. Let me use 30 for example. Now 30 is good. Let me use padding 5, 5 is enough, I think. Now here let me use border radius circular of 5, 10 for example. 10 is enough. Let me increase the padding to 10 like this. Let me remove stack for now. We don't need stack. Remove it. And here after title, let me use here date text dot log dot you can see created at dot to string. You can see it is showing date. Let me use cross axis alignment dot start. It will show everything in left side. Now it is good. You can see it is showing date, but it is not formatted. It is not looking good. In order to format the date, we can use a package. Let me show you. We can use package, name it as in. Its name is Intel Flutter. This is the package to format the date. Intel. Let me add this into our Flutter project. Flutter pub add Intel. Our package has been added. Now we can format our date. Let me use it here. Date format dot format here. Dot format, and inside this we can pass our date. Blog dot created at like this. And here we can pass our parameters to format the date. Here we can pass for example day dd mm y yy, and here for hours mm, and for am pm we can add a like this. Now you can see it is showing everything, but there is a one problem for month. You can see it is showing day is good 28. Here in month it is showing 11. Here let me use capital M. Now it is showing right 28 for 2024 and 5:11 p.m. Now it is showing good. If you want to show the name of month, you can use here 3 time m. Now it will show abbreviation of the month like this. You can also remove these slashes like this and like this. 28 April 2024 and 5:11 p.m. So it is showing created at date and time. You can add more styling here. For example, here instead of gray we can use gray shade 700 or 200 or 300. 300 is enough. Now it is looking good. So this is the way we can show all the blocks here. We can also show our own blocks. So if I want to show my own blocks, for this purpose we can add here button. Let me show you. Here in pop-up menu items, let me add new pop-up menu item here. Pop-up menu item in child, let me add text my blogs. Here it will show only my own blogs. On tab like this. Now here you can see it is showing button my blogs. Now we will create a new screen where we will show only our own blogs. Let me create a new screen here. Name it as my blog folder. My blogs. Let me edit it to my blogs and add a new screen. my blogs screen. Here we can add our code stateful widget, my blogs screen, like this. Here use scaffold and body, and bodies just copy and paste same code as in our home screen. Let me copy and paste stream builder here. Oh, it is showing error. Let me import package Firestore and item blog and blog, like this. Now we want to show only our own blogs. For this purpose, here we can write after collections where. We can write query where user ID. User ID is equal to, there is a parameter is equal to. Here we need to pass our ID. So we can get our ID here. We can use Firebase auth, final auth, Firebase auth dot instance dot current user. We can get current user like this. Here we can use user, and here we can match our ID user dot uid. Now it will show only my own blogs. Let me write the code to open this screen. Here inside my blogs button, navigator dot push material page router my blogs screen, like this. Now let me click my blogs. You can see it is showing only one blog. I just forgot to add app bar, and title will be my blogs. Here you can see it is showing only one blog, because logged in user has only one blog, like this. So this is just basic application how to connect with Firebase and authenticate user and communicate with database. So you can modify it according with your need. You can create multiple screens. You can create detailed screens. You can add this functionality when user will press any blog, then detailed screen will open with detail. So you can add this functionality just here, open item blog, and here over container you can use gesture detector, and here in on tab you can navigate to detail screen. You can create detail screen, and you can pass this data log into that screen and show on detail screen. So kindly try to add some other functionalities to this application, and let me know in comments. If you are interested to make other tutorial to modify this application, you can type other functionalities in comment box that you want to add into this application. So I will help you. So if you have any question in your mind, you can ask in comment box, or you can contact me directly on WhatsApp. Okay, good luck.